It's home day, and we're kicking it off at the bar with the bro laws. There's no better place for us to be. Hi, guys. Dave and Joey are here to help us create an organized space to start our day with coffee and then end it with wine. This is the way the day goes. And they say it's not as hard as you may think. But, guys, first make your case for why we should have a serving station in our home. Why is it important?
All right, we have been through about, 2 years of a pandemic now, and if there's nothing that we need more quick access to, it's our coffee and our liquor. And I don't know about you, but we've got young kids at home, so our mornings are absolutely hectic, getting lunches ready for school, getting breakfast made. You are often the last one that gets to take care of yourself, so being able to just go over to a nice servery area, prepare your breakfast for yourself, maybe once they've kicked out of the house for school, then you can start your day nicely. Or after bedtime, you can end it really nicely as well.
And not only that, why not make this space where you can organize everything and make it beautiful as well?
Oh my gosh, I love this. I can't tell you how many mornings I spend feeding the dog and the kids, and at the end of the day, I'm like, have I showered yet? Because I actually should do that at some point. So I love this idea, and let's talk a little bit about getting organized and how a serving bar might help you do that in your space.
Yeah, so these are some beautiful projects that we've actually built with our amazing designer, Jill Washington. This first one here, it's got some nice black moody accents. You've got black chevrons. It's more of a bar, so this is leaning to accenting those beautiful bottles that you have set aside. And this servery area is kind of between the kitchen and the dining room. So it's easy access from both. Whether you're eating at the island in the kitchen, you can jump over to grab a drink, or if you're dining with friends in the dining room, you can jump over to grab a drink from there as well.
And now let's jump over to more of a breakfast bar. We did this for another client as well, and you can see it's a bit removed from the kitchen space itself, and that allowed us to be a little bit more creative. So we got into some colored cabinetry with the grays, and we got into a more unique backsplash. So this made more of an upscale finish, and you have a mixture of closed storage as well as open storage as well for the things that you want to show off.
And then this one is a little bit simpler with a white subway tile and white cabinets. But what we really wanted to show is lighting. You've got lighting in the cabinets. Under cabinet lighting, you've got some beautiful shelves going across, so it makes it a direct shot to the things that you need.
And finally, we have more of a closed off nook, if you will. So this is inside the pantry of the kitchen area, so it's just outside of that, and you're able to close the barn door right across the front, hide everything away. This is really important if you have a lot of small appliances that you don't necessarily want out in the main kitchen area. So this gives you a space to have those organized with some closed storage as well as some open storage as well, so everything can stay nice, neat, and tidy, but at the end of the day, you can close that barn door and it's all away from the eyes.
See, and that's my favorite, because that way, if the kids were crazy, I could just slip into that room, close the barn door, and I could disappear for a little while.
I was just going to suggest that. If I had that in my house, I would be in there with the small appliances, just sipping silently. I'm not here. Okay, so what if we can't have Dave and Joey in our homes doing this thing because we don't have the budget? Like, it looks so beautiful and so sexy. Do you have any ideas for DIYs that can help us get a similar effect?
Do we ever? Right here on our fun little wall behind us. So the first DIY we have here is the coffee mug station. So this is nice and simple. It's just a plank of wood. We used a piece of oak, and then you just get some dowels. So we've spaced these about 7 inches apart. We find that that's pretty good for mugs, so you don't have them clanking up against one another. You're just going to drill through for your dowels, glue them in place, wipe away that glue with a wet rag, and then you just need to add a layer of stain. So what we typically do for stain as well is we try to look for other wood accents in the house. So if you have wood floors, if you have a mantle over a fireplace, try to pull from that when you're picking your stain color.
And it's all about creating a station, right? So you can hang this on a wall away from the kitchen, off to the side. You could put like a nice little vanity or something down in front of it to be able to create that station that's kind of separate from the kitchen.
So good. You know, anytime like something has a designated place to be, you're going to be rewarded with having less clutter in your space. So I love this idea. Okay, so here's another one for you. What if you want more storage space for the wine than the coffee? This is legit. What do we do?
Yes, and I am on board with you, Tracy. I love my wine. This is a quick, easy wine rack that I created with just some scrap lumber laying around. We had some oak left over, which is a bit of a harder wood, so you want to be careful if you're a DIYer. Cutting it or drilling into it can be a little bit harder. But basically, I've got a nice long plank. Again, I spaced it out so that the bottles would look really nice. And then we've got a little strip underneath to act as the shelf and a little holder on top so that those wine bottles don't roll off. And then you can just anchor that into the wall wherever you want and display some of your finer bottles. Or if you don't have that much room and you don't want something hanging on a wall, you could create something like this, which can sit on a table. So these are some pieces of wood. We've got a 45-degree angle there to make cuts easy and some holes drilled in. And you just take your wine bottle and slide it in. So now you can have 3 bottles nicely displayed. So maybe some of your finer bottles that you want to showcase when people are coming over. Bada bing, bada boom, but importantly, easy to get to.
These dads have thought of it all. Guys, thank you so much for that. Great ideas, and I love the fact that you go from very high to very accessible so we can all enjoy our coffee in the morning. Really good DIY.